Welcome back to the Education Notebook here on News 12 Connecticut. I'm Amelie Wilson. Anybody who has raised teenagers knows it can be a pretty trying time for parents. Puberty, mood swings. Each day can bring a new challenge. We've all been there. Michael Harman's a specialist in the field, psychologist and personal change specialist. He's got some good tips for parents on how to communicate with your teen. Welcome back, Michael.
Thank you.
I mean, teen years are rough. You thought the terrible twos with a toddler were bad. Teenagers, extremely tough, right?
It can be, absolutely.
They can be. So how do you work? First of all, tell us, what exactly do you do?
Well, I worked as a therapist for a while, and what I found was I was being pulled into parents wanted me to be the solution for issues that were going on in the home. And what I knew from being educated as a therapist is that my vantage point is limited. It's based on symptom observation and symptom report. I'm there for 1 hour with the client, so I can't really get to the truth. So I created something that I saw filled the space between therapy once or twice a week and sending your kid to a program, which I believe sends them the message that they're the problem.
Right. Let's just do away with them. We'll send them away, come back in a few weeks, and everything will be fine.
Right, and I understand that. It's not judgment to the parents, but I think a lot of the variables that are triggering the kid have to do with the home environment, and when you take them out, number one, you get diminishing returns in terms of sending them the message that there's something wrong with them. You want the approach to be dynamic and shrink and grow with what they're presenting. I always say, let's catch them doing it right. I'm very careful not to send a kid to a clinical intervention type situation that's going to make it worse in terms of their identity.
Okay, so no longer are kids lying on sofas, and just talking for an hour. How do you work with them to find the problems?
Well, I think that's a part of it. The therapy is about them understanding more about how they operate. But what I do is try to spend as much time where the activity is not talking, where I can really get to the truth when we're not making eye contact. Like, tell me how you're feeling. What's your, what did you dream about last night? No, we'll drive, we'll go to the dog park, whatever. But when we're living life and I'm not pushing for information, I tend to get to the truth. And really my first concern is safety. I want to know who they're hanging out with. I want to know what kind of drugs they're doing, and I non-judgmentally kind of insert myself into their life so that they tell me the truth, because I don't want to drive anything underground if I'm trying to assess, is this kid really in danger?
And it's all about listening. And do you find a lot of parents might not be listening to their kids in the first place?
Yeah, I think what parents around here don't realize is that your kid knows you drive a Mercedes. They know that success is very important, and they've internalized that parent's voice. And so sometimes the pressure, the continued pressure to be all you can be, not only get A's, but go to the AP class, whatever it is, it's overkill. And sometimes kids will create a chaos to reclaim their identity, and say, hey, I'm insecure. I don't know that this is all a foregone conclusion that I'm going to end up as successful as you. And so they'll kind of do something like pull the fire alarm with either drugs or not listening. Part of it's also they're not taking ownership of their success, because it's really more important to mom and dad than it is to them. That's why as many things as you can give your children ownership of. It's your homework. If you haven't realized that you live in America and school's important, I don't know what to say. I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious that school's important. So I don't think pushing it is the best option always.
So a lot of times you see these cries for help. Listen to your children for sure. And then you kind of report back to the parents?
I work with them. If I get involved, I want them to start responding and not reacting. Oftentimes the kid will create chaos in order to get what they want. So when I'm involved, they'll call me before they engage, and then we put our heads together in a more objective way, because obviously parenting is profound and personal, and you don't have an instruction manual. So maybe you're trying to avoid mistakes that you think your parents made and insert things that they didn't do. So it can be very subjective. So my role is to really help the parents get more in their wise mind and away from their emotional mind, because they have the answers. They really know the right course of action. But when you approach something from fear, which when you've got a kid that's not listening to you and potentially self-destructive, there's a lot of fear involved, because it's all your fault as a parent.
I hear that a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah,
well, you've got a great website. We'll send people there for more information if they'd like to contact you and hear more about your services.
Absolutely.
Michael, thank you again.
Thank you.
A pleasure.